Hi, and welcome to episode 6 of Sinatra CRUD app. In this one, we're going to implement our 7th and final RESTful action, the delete action, and we'll also add something to our index page to enable our users to delete. So with that said, I did some prep work ahead of time again, and here's the form that you'll need to create. And again, feel free to pause in order to code this. But the reason that we need a form for the delete action is there is no corresponding view to get you to delete in RESTful action. For the create action, you have new that gives you the form, and for the update action, you have edit. For delete, there is no corresponding action. So what we need is a form because this is a delete HTTP verb, and the only way for us to do that with most browsers is to use a form and have this underscore method name with delete, and that will get us to our delete action down here. So in order for our users to be able to hit this delete route, what we're going to do is add to our index page. And you'll notice I've just put a simple on-page style sheet here. Feel free to do that. It'll make your buttons show up in a better way than if you don't have this style. So before, for all of our contacts, we had the ID, the email, and this href that we have here. And now we also want this delete action to show up. So just like before, when we rendered a partial, we're going to do that again for this delete action. So we go ahead and open up our ERB equals, or ERB interpolation, and we call ERB. And we want the contacts / underscore delete. That's where I've put it here, contacts underscore delete. And again, like before, we want our layout to be false because we don't want to re-render all the HTML tags. So we'll go ahead and close out our ERB interpolation. And this is going to throw an error. And the reason that it's going to do that is this contact is not in scope in this file. And inside the each block in the index file, we do have it in scope here, but once we call ERB and we go back to our delete, it is out of scope. So let's see what happens when we try to run this code. We refresh the page and we see this name error, undefined local variable contact for the Sinatra application. So the way that we fix this is when we call ERB, there's another option called locals. And this is a way for us to pass variables that are in scope in this file to be local variables in scope in the file, the partial that we're calling. And you can have more than one local variable in here. In this case, I just need contact. And so what I'm saying is I want a local variable called contact to be in scope in my delete partial, and I'm passing in the contact that I have in scope here as that value. Now with that fix, we can go ahead and reload the page and see if it works. And after that reload, we see we have delete buttons all over the place. These won't actually delete any contacts because we haven't implemented that action yet. But if we go ahead and click on one, we'll see that it takes us to the right place, which is the delete action. So now we'll go ahead and implement the delete action. And it's going to be pretty simple. We'll remove this placeholder. And just like we did for the show action, we need to find a contact based on the param with ID. So I'll move that code down, and then we're going to call ActiveRecords destroy function, which will remove it from the database. And since this is not a GET request, on success, we need to redirect. And in this case, we've destroyed this contact, so we need to redirect to the index page. Now with that implemented, we'll go back to our index page and we'll try to delete one of these contacts. So we'll go up and we'll click delete on the very first contact. And if that's successful, it should refresh this page, and then we should see the first contact is now gone. One thing that you'll notice is that this delete doesn't match the styling of our show link. And that's because for most browsers, we have to use a form to follow RESTful conventions to hit the delete verb. But what we can do is use CSS to change the style of this button to look more like a link. And I have some of that CSS here available. So we'll go ahead and copy that and paste it over. Feel free to pause here if you want to type this out. And now when we refresh the page, we'll see that the delete looks just like the show link. And just to prove to ourselves that it still works, we'll delete the top contact. And now as it reloads, we'll see that Sheldon is gone. Now that we've successfully deleted from the front end, let's take a look at what happened on the server side. Now, if we open up our server log here, we will see that there were a couple of delete calls made, and here the latest one, delete from contacts where the ID is 3. And that was committed, so it was successful. You'll see that we hit the delete route, and after that happened, we were redirected to get/contacts. Now to close the episode, we're going to review the files that we changed with git. So with a git status, we see that we've modified our controller, we've modified our index view, and we've added a new view partial called delete. So all those changes look good, so I'll go ahead and commit them. So now with the close of episode 6, we have a fully functioning CRUD application built with Sinatra. All 7 RESTful routes working for our one resource, which is contacts. The one thing that we're going to add is some error handling. So when a user tries to create or update a contact, if something goes wrong, we will gracefully handle that error and report it to our user. So look forward to that in next episode, and we'll see you then. Thanks.